What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? Everybody chilling? Hey yo, hey yo. What's going on, guys? Today's gonna be a really fun day to create some cool shit. So I'm streaming on YouTube as well, so if you guys want to tune in on there, that's totally fine. The plan for today is to create a snow globe using realistic assets, and that's pretty much it. That's the basis of what I'll be doing today. So it's gonna be kind of like a fun creative process. There's going to be really no specific agenda except for that I want to end up with like a really cool animated snow globe with like realistic assets inside of it. So super excited to hop into this. I've got some music playing, but to be honest, it's really distracting, so I'm gonna have to turn it down a little bit. It's a playlist of Wii music. So if you guys remember Wii, so I'm gonna turn this on instead. So all right, cool. So let's open up Blender here. So if you guys want to stream it on YouTube, that's totally fine. If not, I can try to point you towards the screen, but I feel like sometimes when I do that, a lot of people drop off. Playing with physics as usual? Nah, not today. We're not going to be playing with physics today. Let's see. Hi. Product renders. Oh, someone wants product renders. Let me add that to the list really quickly. Tutorial requests. I have 36 tutorial requests. Product renders. Today we're not going to be doing any of the requests. We're just going to be working on something creative just for fun. Following your latest tutorial now, many thanks. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hey Kenny, I want to ask a question. Hey man, listen. Hello. Hi bro. Hey guys, what's going on? Everybody on YouTube, welcome to the stream. We're in Blender here. Blender 3.4. Let me start. I'm going to start recording this as well, so I can record this for my snow globe thing. All right, guys, I'm going to do the whole intro thing. I'm going to put you guys here. You guys are going to stay here for questions. Everybody on Instagram, I'm just going to have you facing towards me, and then if you guys want to stream on YouTube so you can like actually see what I'm doing, I'll try to answer some questions along the way. So this will be a really relaxed live stream. No real plan, but let's hop into it. So let's go ahead and start recording. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing some creative process. We're going to be creating a snow globe with realistic assets. So I'm going to be using Quixel Bridge to get those assets, and then everything else we're going to model by hand. And we're going to kind of just go with the flow here and just see what we can come up with. And I'm hoping to add some animation to this, some very basic animation with some kind of snow particles or something like that. So let's go ahead and hop into it and see what we can make here. All right. So we are in Blender 3.4. I'm just going to start out by kind of setting up my camera for my scene. I think I'm going to make this 1080 by 1920 so that I can post it for Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. I'm going to first start out by saving this to my Instagram folder. And I'm just going to call this Snow Globe. And if you guys can hear my audio, I apologize on YouTube. I didn't even think about if you guys can hear the music or not. If it's too much, let me know. I'll turn it down for you guys. I'm following from Instagram. How are we doing today? Everybody, we're doing great. Are you a WZ player? I can see. WZ? Warzone. Every now and then. Yeah, I play Warzone every now and then. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to cycles because we're not going to be using Eevee today. World settings, I'm just going to throw an environment texture on there. And I think I'm going to select something that is already sort of like overcast, like similar to like a snowy environment. Now this is a snowy environment right here, but this is actually not an HDRI. It's just a picture. Probably should remove it from this folder. Why don't we use something like this for now? I actually really like this HDRI because it has these nice windows in here that let the light in, but other areas of the HDRI, it's dark. I'm also going to add in a plane here, guys. Hello, what's up, Shelter C? Good to see you, man. I'm going to drag the plane down, and I'm going to give myself an orthographic perspective for this because I just love the orthographic perspective. I think it's perfect for what I'm about to do right now, and it's just we're going to get some really cool results here. So let me just go ahead and save real quick. I'm going to delete the cube because that's where we're going to put our snow globe, and then for our surface right here, for now, I'm just going to give this like a darker color so we can see the things that we're putting on top of it. All right, let's go ahead and open up Quixel Bridge and hope that my computer does not completely fail right now because I'm running a lot of programs right now. All right, let's go ahead and search some assets. So I'm just going to type in snow and just see what we get. All right, so already we have some 3D assets that are available to us. We have rocky snow pile. See, these are all incredible. I'm actually going to come back to this. First, I'm going to make sort of like the globe with just like a sphere and some other objects. And I'm going to make a little stand for it out of a cylinder. So let's go ahead and construct that first. So I'm going to go into my solid mode here, add mesh. Let's start with the base. So I'm going to do cylinder. I'm going to keep everything like 1-to-1 with the original dimensions that we're adding in here. So I'm just going to scale this on the Z-axis to something that I like. I think that's perfect. And then I'm going to add some modifiers in here. I'm going to add in an edge split modifier. I'm going to add in a bevel modifier. I'm actually going to put that before the edge split. And then I'm going to add in a subdivision surface modifier. And we're just going to bump that up one time. And we are going to go to Object, Apply Scale, and you'll watch how this bevel transforms itself. I'm going to turn the bevel down a little bit more. And I think this is looking pretty good. What I'll probably do next is I'll apply everything, and then I'll go into edit mode and start constructing the way I want this to look. But first, I want to bring it all the way down to the floor, so it's right below our floor here. I'm just going to zoom in to double check that. I'll even bring the floor up a little bit, and we can adjust the camera angle later to match all of this stuff, guys. All right, let me go ahead and minimize my face. You guys can like really see what I'm doing here. All right, so make sure I'm not missing any questions. We are good to go. All right, so we have our cylinder right here. I think I'm going to go into edit mode, and this is where I'm going to start to like really construct everything. I'm going to turn on this little X-ray mode right here. The geometry is actually looking quite weird. But what I think I want to do is I just want to like take some of these vertices and like scale them out, kind of like that, you know? And then I think what I want to do is do the same thing down here. So I want to take all of these vertices, scale them out a little bit. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. And then I want to take the bottom, scale that out. Oops, no, I don't want that part. But I'm going to undo that. I'm actually going to take this, scale that out a little bit like that. And then I'm going to take just this center one and just scale it out a little bit. I just want to see what that looks like right there. That looks pretty good. I'm just trying to create these fun little ridges. And then again, I'm going to add another subdivision surface modifier, turn it up, save this, shade smooth. And as you guys can see, just what I did right there is already going to create this really cool effect where we just kind of have these nice ridges in our snow globe like base here. So I want to select this little area right here, and I actually want to rotate it. It's not letting me rotate RX. Guys, I'm actually going to undo real quick. Hold on. I actually want to undo that one operation I did in edit mode. So we're going to undo that, tab out, go back to subdivision surface, go back into edit mode, and I'm actually going to scale these a little bit. So I'm going to actually select everything on this side, and I'm going to do, what is it, I believe it's SZ0? No, SX0. I think I did that right. Hold on. All right, maybe we're not going to do that. I kind of forget the operation, guys. I apologize. But anyway, the whole point of this was that if you take different parts of these vertices and you like scale them around while you have your subdivision surface applied, you can get these nice smooth results. I actually don't think that looks too bad. So for now, we're just going to go with that. And now I'm going to add in our sphere, and we're going to cut off the bottom of it so that it's like a globe section on the top here. So let's go ahead and add in a sphere. And I'm just going to go to my side view, bring it down a little bit until it's like touching right about there. Actually, I'm going to add in, guys, a round sphere, I'm sorry, which is not in here. Where is that? All right, fine, we'll use the sphere, that's fine. I actually forgot that now that I updated Blender, I do not have access to the round sphere anymore because I believe it was an add-on, which is all good. Let's go ahead and tab into edit mode and just delete everything that we don't need here. Oops. Which would be all this stuff right here. So I'm going to tab out of edit mode. I am going to go back into solid mode, turn off my ghost mode. Looks good so far. I'm going to scale it down a little bit. Go to my top-down view. I think that looks good. I'm going to add in a subdivision surface modifier, and I'm going to shade this smooth. Now, the only other thing I want to do is actually add a solidify modifier before our subdivision. And now if we go into our solid view, you see how we have this little rim here? You see how we have like some solidity to the actual object itself now? This is going to allow us to actually get these really realistic refractions and like light warping effects when we actually apply our glass material to this. This looks awesome so far. I'm pretty happy with it. And what's great about the solidify modifier is you can make it as thick as you want. I think 0.04 looks good, so we'll go with that for now. And then, of course, I want to bring this down, so I'm going to go to my side view, bring it down so it's barely touching right here. Now, if you really wanted to, you could go into edit mode with this, bring this surface down, and make it concave, but I'm not going to do that for now because I'm trying to keep things relatively simple. Let's go into our solid view, or our rendered view, go to our camera, pop out this little tab and adjust all of the settings here. Location, we're just going to even everything out here. I'll just make this 7, -7, 5, and then 45 degrees on our Z axis. And then I'm going to hold Control and snap this down one more level. Hold Control and Shift so we can snap it down in increments. I think this is looking really good so far. Hi man, I'm from Tajikistan, Central Asia. That's awesome. We got people kind of all around the world watching here, and that's great to hear that. All right, so let's go ahead and click on our sphere here. Let's go ahead and create a new material, and I'm just going to make this a glass BSDF, and I'm going to turn the roughness all the way down. And just like that, we already have a nice little glass sphere going here. This looks awesome. Now, for our bottom material, I'm thinking wood right off the bat, but at the same time, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. So for now, I'll just give this like a nice metallic material, and I'll turn the roughness down quite a bit. And then you can make it like blue if you want to, red for Christmas. Red actually doesn't look too bad. Why don't we go with red for now, and then we can come back to this part later. So now this is the part where I'm going to go ahead and take assets, and I'm going to put them into our snow globe. And this is like the really fun part, because this is where we get to get really creative. But before I do that, let me just zoom in on my scene a little bit with the camera. That looks awesome. And again, around our snow globe, we can also add other assets too. So let's go ahead to Quixel Bridge, and let's check out what they have for us here. They have tons of awesome terrain that we can import. And then they also have actual snow textures. So like I think I already have this downloaded. So for example, I could export this over to Blender. Wait for that to export. Error. Oh no. All right, so since I updated Blender, this actually might not work. Crap. Hold on, let me try it. Let me try it with a different material and see if it works. Damn, does not want to export over. Okay. Well, that really puts a wrench in our plans. All right, in this case, why don't we just design everything from scratch and just go with the general theme of snow. We're still going to create something cool here. The original plan was to use realistic assets, but for some reason, Quixel Bridge does not want to export everything over, so I apologize for that, guys. Normally, I would throw everything from Quixel Bridge right into here, but since we don't have that, I guess we're going to have to design some stuff from scratch, which is totally okay because we can just use primitives and work from there. So, very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in another cylinder, go to my solid view, turn on my ghost mode, or x-ray mode, scale this on the z-axis, and I'm just going to make this really, really thin cylinder that is going to act as our like snow ground right here. So I'm just going to move it down on the z-axis, and I'm going to go to rendered view real quick so I can see. I want to move this to the bottom of the sphere so it's basically right inside of our sphere, and it's going to be like our snowy ground. Now, what's great about this is I'm actually going to apply the scale and add in a displacement on this so we can actually create this hilly atmosphere. So this is going to be really cool. Let me first create a new material. I'll just make it like sort of low roughness, like slightly metallic. We don't want it to be too metallic because snow isn't like extremely reflective. So I think that looks pretty good right there. Yeah, I am on my GPU. All right, let's go ahead and add in a displacement. What the heck? Hold on, guys. Why did that happen? Object, apply, scale. Did I not do that correctly? Okay, I don't know why it's doing that, but that's okay. Let me go over to my displacement. Let's add in a clouds displacement. But before that, let's add in a subdivision surface because something weird is happening here. What in the world is happening with our cylinder? Apologies, guys. This should not be happening. The displacement is working, but for some reason... Okay, that looks better. That was weird. I don't know why that was happening. I'm going to make our mid-level a little bit lower. Let's add in a bevel up top. Sometimes when you add in a bevel, it like stops things from getting too warped. Yeah, that's a lot better. All right, so now we can really adjust our displacement here. Let's go back to our rendered view and just see what this looks like. For anybody watching on Instagram, you probably want to hop on YouTube, and that is where I'm actually showing everything that I'm doing at the moment. That looks pretty good. I'm going to shade that smooth. And then what we can do is we can actually tab back into edit mode real quick. Go go to our side view, and I'm just going to bring this bottom section down a little bit. And I'm going to bring this up. Cool. So we have this kind of like weird pancake looking thing. Blender does not want to work for me right now. There we go. And then we're going to scale it in a little bit like that. And then I'm actually going to duplicate this, and I'm going to remove all the modifiers. And I'll show you why right now, if it'll let me. There we go. Shift D, duplicate, get rid of all the modifiers. And then I'm going to bring it back down. Well, first I'm going to zero everything. Bring it back down below our scene here. Go to my top-down view, scale it up. And this is going to be our base that anything that's not covered by this snowy, hilly area, this will cover. You guys will see what I mean when I go to render view. So like anything underneath of this will still be white as long as I have this slightly above the red surface. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that looks good. Let's go back to our camera view. So far, so good. And I do love how we have these nice reflections. Let's go to the floor and let's actually add in... Oh, hello, Fatu Tutorials. How are you today, my friend? Let's add in like a nice metallic surface for this. Low roughness. And I'm just going to make this like a whiter color. That looks awesome. That looks awesome. That's perfect. All right, I really like how this is shaping up so far. Let's start to add in some like elements within our scene here. I'm thinking we can add in some really simple trees with cones and other primitives. So I'm going to go back to my solid view again. I'm just going to turn off this mode. And let's go ahead and add in a cylinder. Move it up, scale it down, scale it up on the Z-axis. Hold on. There we go. All right, I think that's perfect. So we're going to go with something like that, and then we're going to go ahead and add in a mesh cone. Move that up, scale that down. Let's go to our side view so it's easier to see this. Now we're literally just going to take this, duplicate it, move it down on the Z-axis, and just like that we have a tree. It might look low poly, but that's kind of what I'm going for at this point since we can't get our other assets. And then you can basically take all these, you can highlight all these, go into your normals, alt click this, and it'll auto smooth them, and then right click shade smooth. And let's go to our render view and see how that looks. And it looks pretty good. And then what I'll probably do is just give these like a really simple green material. Something like this, darker. That looks good. And if you really wanted to, you could go in here and you could add more material, or a different type of material, and you could add like a bevel. I think this looks good enough for what I'm doing, and I'm not really going too crazy here. I'm just gonna give this like a nice brown material. And just like that, we have a tree. And of course, you can move this up and down on the Z-axis to adjust how you want your tree to look. And then what's great about this is we can either group these together in a collection, or we can actually go ahead and add in an empty. So in my case, I think I'm just going to add in a cube empty. I'm going to go back to my solid view. I'm just going to move the cube up and scale it on the Z-axis so that it kind of contains our object here. And then I'm going to select all these. Oops, select all these, and lastly select my cube, and I'm going to parent everything to our empty. So now when we move our empty around, we can scale it, we can do anything we want with it. And this is perfect for me because I am going to scale it down, and I'm going to move it down within our scene so that it is in the snow globe. Looks really good. All right, this is perfect because now we can just move it wherever we want, and we can duplicate it. Now when you duplicate an empty, you have to make sure you have everything selected, so be really, really careful about that. I'm going to go into my ghost mode here. Now when you duplicate the empty, guys, you want to drop it down, shift click everything, and then you want to do shift D to duplicate. So now, as you can see, we have a completely separate empty with the same object. I'm going to go to my top down view, and I'm just going to place these around here. I'm going to duplicate one more time. All right, 2 more times. All right, I think that looks good enough. And of course, you can scale them down if you need to. In fact, you probably should, because you don't want them to all be like the same height. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So far, so good. I actually think I'm going to adjust my HDRI's angle so that we can go ahead and figure out some better lighting for this situation. Kenny, you put so much effort into what you do. I feel you, bro. All the best effort. Thank you. Oh, all the best, bro. Sorry. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. And I try because I'm trying to make good content for you guys that's like super useful. All right, we're going to hop over to our shading tab, guys. Go to our world settings or our world like node area. Add in a texture coordinate. And we're going to go ahead and add in a mapping node. And we're just going to plug everything in like this, vector to the vector, generated to the vector. And nothing's going to change because we're not in rendered mode, but if we go to rendered mode, we can now adjust our Z axis for our HDRI. And as you can see, it's completely changing the lighting. I think that looks perfect right there. That caught my eye enough where I'm like, that might be it. But you can keep adjusting as you go. Like as you guys can see, it's going to completely affect the entire scene as you adjust your light source. Like that actually doesn't look bad there. I want that nice highlight on the sphere, and I just want the lighting to look like perfect for this. So that doesn't look too bad. I enjoy that enough where I think I might go with that. Cool. All right, what else can we add to our scene here? I'm definitely going to add some snow particles, but I'm trying to think of one more thing that I want to add in here. You'll also go ahead and click on our empty here. Where is our empty that controls this small one here? There's. All right, I just want to bring that up because I couldn't see the base of the tree. That looks good. And I think I'm actually going to take this and move it on the y-axis a little bit, then move it back on the x. I'm trying to create just a nice little simple scene here. It really does not have to be anything crazy. I'm also going to click on my glass real quick, and I'm going to look at my IOR. Maybe turn that down to 1.2 or up to 2. Let's see. Trying to see what works better for this scene. That looks good. Make sure I have my auto smoothing on as well. That looks pretty good. All right, I'm pretty happy with this, guys, so far. You know what we could do? We could add a little campfire in here. Yeah, why don't we try to do that and see if we can get this campfire to glow. The question is, how are we going to model this campfire? Let's go ahead to our solid view. I'm going to turn off this ghost mode for a second. Let me just look at my primitives here, see what will be closest to a fire. Let's see. The cone is probably the closest, but you know what we could do? We could just go ahead and add in a sphere and like give it some displacement. All right, let me just try something real quick because this is about the creative process and trying new things. Let me go to my sphere here, go to my side view, bring it up. Let's go into our edit mode here, and I'm just going to delete like the bottom half of this. And then what I want to do is I just want to add in a displacement modifier, new, go to my displacement area, and I want to add in a Voronoi. So already I think this is starting to look how I imagined it would look. Kind of like fire, but kind of like a low poly kind of fire here. And let's add in a subdivision surface. And then let's bump it up 1. And let's just add in an emission shader. And we'll just give it like, I don't know, something like that. Strength 10. I don't know, just see like what that looks like. Maybe make it a little more like yellow orangey. I think that looks good. All right, now let's go to our side view again, scale it down, move it down into our scene, snap to the camera view, scale it down more, move it up, top down view, move it towards the front. We'll probably also create some like logs to like have the fire sitting around. But so far, I think it looks pretty good. Now we could create a mix shader where it's, or we could create like a gradient shader for this. I'm happy with like how this looks so far though. Let me go to my displacement. To be honest, we don't need that many subdivisions. I actually think it looks really good just by itself. Let's add in a few cylinders to act as some logs and see if we can get this thing to look a little bit better. I'm going to go to my solid view again. I am going to add in a cylinder, move it up, scale it. I think that's fine, and I'm just going to add like a bevel to this. Object apply, scale. Bring it down a little bit. Shade smooth. That's fine. And then I'm just going to give this the same shader as the base of the tree. As you can see, we have our log here. I'm going to bring it down towards our fire, just scale it down. Sometimes it's easier to do these things in your like side view, just because you can see exactly where you're putting your items. Scale it down even more. And every time you adjust something like the scale, just don't forget to apply, especially if you have modifiers, because now like our bevel is going to look completely different. All right, there we go. That looks good. Now I'm going to go back into solid view so that things are running a little bit smoother here. All right, and then let's just go ahead and rotate this around. Find a good spot for it. It looks pretty good. So the idea is we're going to just make this look like the classic campfire look. That looks pretty good. Just move that there. And we'll probably go back into rendered view in a second here. I'm just trying to piece together like something really, really simple here. I think that looks pretty good. And we'll just bring one for the back as well. Scale that up. Now they're going to cut into the fire a little bit, but that's okay because that's probably what it would look like anyway. I think that looks decent. The fire, let's see. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that where I feel like we can get away with it. But I want to do one last thing. I want to take this one, duplicate it, scale it down, move it, maybe something like that. Just add a little bit more detail in there. Okay. Oops. There we go. And just move it up. I think that looks good. What do you guys think? I think that's enough where like we have enough detail where it's still like low poly, but I think it looks good. What do you guys think? Does that look like a fire? I feel like it more or less looks like a fire. Look this year's setup. Do more physics animation. Doing nice, bro. Hi, Kenny. Hey, how's it going? Hi, bro. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. What else did I miss here? Hi. See what? Oh, yeah, if you guys are on Instagram, hop over to YouTube because that is where I'm actually streaming this. So, all right, so we got our campfire. We got our, like, trees in the globe. Let me think of what else I would want to do for this. The other thing, guys, I was going to show you is that since we have our plane under here, we can actually do the same thing that we did to our cylinder inside, which was add a little bit of displacement. So let me just apply the scale real quick. Add in a displacement, new displacement. And let's add in let's try magic. And then we need to subdivide this a few times. And just like that, we have our magic displacement. But I actually want to do Musgrave and then add a subdivision surface modifier. I want to scale this down, move it below our scene. That looks pretty good. Shade smooth. Hop back over to rendered view. And then we're going to go ahead and make this the same shader as the inside cylinder, which I believe is this. And now we have this nice snowy landscape, and it looks really good. Hi, Tech Models. How are you today? Let's see. Someone wants to be in the live stream. I'm sorry, not at the moment, but thank you for the offer. And Adobe Photoshop Learn. Yeah, I know everything about Photoshop. Well, a lot of things about Photoshop, so I can surely teach you guys that as well. It's in the works. Mainly, I've been doing Blender stuff because that is my strong suit right now. But to be honest, I actually know more about Photoshop than I do about Blender. So I will go ahead and just add that to my tutorial request list. I'm just going to say Photoshop in general, and I can teach you guys like the absolute basics of that. That's super simple. Photoshop will take you a day to learn, seriously, if you're really trying to learn. All right, we got 6 people concurrent on YouTube. We're looking good. All right, let's go ahead and hop back into this tutorial for the snow globe. Again, guys, this is just kind of like a relaxed process. We're just kind of going through the motions, trying to create something really, really cool. And I think so far, I'm really happy with what we have. I'm really, really happy with this, and it looks really cool. Now, what else can we add to our scene? We have a fire, we have trees. We're missing some Christmas lights. Christmas lights could be cool. I'm trying to think of something simple we can model that's not going to take like a crazy amount of work, but we can still get some super cool stuff going on in here. Now, another thing I was going to do is oh, we could do a wreath. But I don't know where we would put the wreath in there. Maybe like a sled. I feel like a sled would be pretty easy to make. All right, why don't we try to do it like a really simple like bobsled? Yeah, let's do that. Let me just look up what a sled looks like real quick because I really don't remember. I'm thinking in my head of what I think it looks like. Yeah, this is what I was thinking right here. Something exactly like this, actually. All right, let me pull up an image. I'm gonna use PureRef for this, guys. Do you guys know what PureRef is? PureRef is amazing because I can literally have this sitting here, have Blender on my left. PureRef can be on my right. Where is it? All right, PureRef will be right here, and we'll just use this to model everything. Cool. I just want to get an image of a sled, and then we're going to drag it over to PureRef. I was thinking something like this, like something really, really, really simple. Yeah, literally, like more or less like that. It shouldn't be too hard to model. We'll see. We'll see, because I'm not an expert modeler. I think this is like the perfect simple sled to try out. Even that's it. That's it. We're gonna try to make something like this. Let's go ahead and save this to our downloads, and let's go ahead and drag this in here, and let's get out of this. All right, cool. All right, guys. So we got our stream. All right. Hey, will you unlist this live stream? Unlist it? What do you mean? Hello, Cleon. How are you today, my friend? We're on YouTube streaming right now for those of you who want to join. All right, so we got our image ref right here. Let's try to model this thing. Looks like it's mostly going to be composed of simple parts, so I'm hoping this won't be a pain to model. And I'm probably going to make a whole new collection just for this. I'm just going to say sled. Cool. Excuse me. All right, let's go ahead and just first add in a add in a cube. Bring that up. Go to our side view, scale it down, and then I'm going to scale it on our x-axis a little bit. These are just going to be our like planks. SY, that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to make this simple for myself, make an array modifier, and we're just going to give it the slightest bit of offset. And then what do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like maybe 5 of those, or we can do 4 and keep it simple. Object, apply, scale. That's fine. And then maybe just add a bevel modifier to this. Just not a lot at all. That looks perfect. Shade that smooth. Actually, let's not shade it smooth. I think it looks fine like that. All right, so that's the top part. Now for the bottom part, it looks like we have very, very similar things. So I'm actually going to duplicate this, bring it down, get rid of my modifiers, and we're going to use this for both sides here. So here's what's really cool. I want to show you guys like a little trick though. We can add a mirror modifier to this so that it flips to both sides. So this is just something I don't even remember where I learned this, just probably in like a general modeling tutorial. But so for this, I think what I want to do is I want to add in a subdivision surface modifier. Before that, I'll add in a bevel. Object, apply, scale. And the bevel, I'm going to turn that down a bunch. Why in the heck is this thing acting so weird? Hold on, let me tab this, subdivide it a few times. There we go, it looks a little bit better. I don't know why, guys, but this shape is acting very, very strange. All right, let's go ahead and just build this little like curved part out in the front, and then we'll go to the next part. All right, I am going to tab into edit mode. I'm going to go to this little mode here. Now, to add a loop cut, we're just going to do Control R, and that adds like a nice little loop cut. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to extrude this out and just kind of curve it up. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do E to extrude. I'm just going to move it here, move it up on the Z-axis, and then I'm just going to rotate it on the Y-axis like that. And then we're just going to actually just slowly build out our curve here. Again, E, R, Y, rotate, and I'm just going to build it out like this. This is like really, really simple way to do this, but to be honest, it's actually pretty effective. And then RY. Guys, I'm not really like a modeling strong suit, but it seems to be working for me, so I'm just going to stick with this. And then it looks like it curves back over itself again. I'm just going to start curving it back around. Let me just put this here. Perfect. And that's good. I actually think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. It's a little wonky right there. Why does it look like that right there? Let's just take our bevel off for now. I think this looks fine. What do you guys think for our sled? I'm pretty happy with that. And then you could duplicate it, or you could do what I'm going to do, which is add an empty in. So let me add in an empty. I'll just add in a plain axis. Keep it simple. Scale it up. Move it up, holding Control and Shift. Center it right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on our little ski thing that we just created, add in a mirror modifier, and then we're going to select the empty, and then we're going to select the Y axis. So click off as X and make it Y, and now we have two things for our for our sled here. All right, so now what I think I want to do, guys, is I want to add those little connecting pieces, and then in terms of the sled, we'll be done after that. And I'll use my mirror modifier twice in this case, and I'll show you what I mean in a second here. Let me go ahead and create like a little connecting piece, and then we should be good. I think I'm just going to duplicate this again, move it up, get rid of the array modifier. I'm going to scale this on the x-axis, and I'm going to go to my side view, move it down, and then I think I'm just going to like scale it a little bit more, rotate it on the y-axis, something simple like that. And then what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to add in a mirror modifier. Where is it? Mirror modifier. I'm going to select our empty again. And then as you can see, it just flipped it right here. And now we want to flip it on the y-axis as well. And as you can see, we now have connecting pieces. However, one more thing I think I want to do is I actually want to create just a little bit of a bow in that. So first I'm going to object apply scale. I'm going to collapse my modifiers here. And then I'm going to add in a simple deform modifier. And I want to just bend this on the y-axis. I believe it's bend y. We're going to have to put this before our bevel. There we go. Twist now, bend. Really does not want to bend for me, does it? I'm wondering if I can put this, maybe if I put it after the bevel. Or not. It's actually not bad. I kind of like that a little bit. The idea was I was going to bend it, but I'm going to actually tab into edit mode and subdivide it a few times, and I think that'll let me bend it more. Or not. It should be bending on its own origin. No? Oh, there we go. That looks pretty good. So that's kind of what I was going for, and then I'm going to rotate it on the y-axis. Bring it up. That at least looks better. And I think I'm going to scale it in on the y-axis as well, just so it's in the center. Overall, like, I think that looks pretty good. These could probably move down a little bit. These could probably rotate just a little bit more. I'm spending way too much time on this, but I just wanted to show you guys some cool, like, little tricks that you could use. I think that looks good enough for a sled. What do you guys think? I'm more or less pretty happy with that. Yeah, that'll do for this. Cool. All right, this is perfect. All right, let's save this. Now let's parent everything to an empty like we did before. Add empty cube. Bring it up on the z-axis. Scale it on the x-axis. Let's go ahead and make sure everything is covered here. And I'm going to go ahead and scale it on the y-axis as well. Cool. And then I'm going to shift click everything, parent to our empty, and now we should be good to go. Nope. Sorry guys, I parented that incorrectly. There we go. No, it's not going to work. Okay, I think we're good now. All right, cool. So our empty now controls our sled, and now that we have our sled designed, we can go ahead and scale it down a bunch and bring it into our scene. Where in the world is it? There it is. And we're also going to have to apply some materials to it as well. So our sled is right here. I'm going to bring it down on the snow. I'm probably going to rotate it a little bit too. Something like that. I think that looks pretty good. And again, you guys can control everything with empties if you want to. So like, for example, I probably should have taken the fire and had it controlled by an empty so we could easily move everything. But as you can see, we still have everything good to go. So let's go ahead and move this over here. Maybe rotate it a little bit so it's kind of like on this hill. I think that looks pretty good. And then for this part right here, I'm going to copy over our material from our tree. And then same for here. Oh, sorry guys. Actually, I just realized we should probably have these be metallic. So I'm actually going to get rid of that material. And I'm just going to make a new metallic material with a little roughness. Shade those smooth. That looks really, really good. And same for these. All right, I think that's pretty much perfect. Let's go ahead and unhide our sphere. See what this looks like. Maybe move our fire to the left a little bit. All right, I am going to go ahead and hide our sphere, and I'm actually going to parent all this stuff to an empty. I'm just trying to teach you guys how to easily organize stuff. It's just so much easier when you have stuff parented because you can contain it within an empty and move it around just so much easier, like so much easier. You should probably also be naming them like fire. Move this back up to my other collection. All right, so this is gonna take a second. I gotta select everything, including the fire, and then lastly select my empty parent, and we should be good to go. All right, we are good to go. Now everything's not perfectly centered, but that's okay. You can always adjust that later. I'm just gonna move our fire over here, go back, unhide our sphere, rendered view, and let's just go ahead and see what we have. Oh, and also for my fire, I want to actually go to my sphere, and I want to go back to my modifiers, and why does this look so weird? That looks fine. All right, I'm more or less pretty happy with that. What do you guys think so far? I think it's coming together, and I think the only thing left that I really want to do is add some modifiers. But so far, I think this is looking really good. I think we're teaching a lot here on how to do this kind of stuff in Blender. I'm going to close out of PureRef now. Close window. There we go. Sorry, my mic is in the way. All right, let me full screen Blender again. Again, this is just a very, very simple way to kind of throw a scene like this together. We have our fire, we have our sled, and then we have our trees. And then the overall globe looks really good as well. Trying to think of what else we could add to our scene besides particles. I'm going to click on my camera right here real quick. Let's go ahead to our camera settings. Let's turn on, you guessed it, depth of field. And then I'm going to select my sphere for my object. Everything's looking pretty good so far. We could really, really exaggerate this and do like 0.3, but then you're not going to be able to see a darn thing. So I'm going to bump it up to 5. That looks pretty good. Now, we can also adjust some of our render settings like I went over last time. We can use optics for our noise samples. I'm going to choose 150, collapse all this, light paths. I'm going to turn everything to 2 and see what it looks like. Now, see what happened when I turned down transmission to 2? Watch what happens when I turn it up to 3. Now watch what happens when I turn it up to 4. You need like a minimum of 4 to be able to see through that glass. So keep that in mind when you're doing things like this. Volume, 0. We're not using volumetrics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10. We're going to use a total of 10 light paths. I think this looks really good. You guys can adjust your light paths until you're happy with what you have. I think this is looking really solid. Let's go ahead and add in, you guessed it, snow. I'm missing something. I can't see what's being done. That's because I'm streaming over on YouTube, MSMI77Y. Go ahead and check that out on YouTube. That is where I'm streaming, and I just figured I'd also be on Instagram so I could tell you guys to hop over into YouTube. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and add in some particles here. In order to add in the particles, I'm going to use something simple like an icosphere, turn down the subdivisions a bunch, and then we're just going to use those to act as our snow particles. And since we have our depth of field enabled, this is going to look super, super cool. And I think so far I'm pretty happy with everything that we have in our scene. We have a nice little sled. We have our snow. We have our fireplace or our fire pit, whatever it's called. I did notice, though, now that I'm looking at it, the snow is overhanging just a little bit. Yeah, where is it? It's like, maybe it isn't. Or we can, you know what we can do if our snow is overhanging? We can just increase our sphere just a tiny bit. Perfect. That looks awesome. All right, guys, let's add in some snow particles. Let's go ahead and first add in a mesh icosphere, and then go ahead and click on this little drop down. Oh, you guys can't see it. Hold on, let me move my face. There's a little drop down at the bottom here. There you go. Just turn the subdivisions down to 1. Because we can just use this simple shape as our snow particle so that the computer doesn't have a lot to handle. And then real quick, I'm going to copy my material from our snow floor. And if we just go into render view, let's just double check that. And it has the same material. You can shade it smooth. It really doesn't matter. These are going to be so small that you're not really going to see them much. So let's go ahead and scale them down to maybe like something like that. Now this is where you can kind of scatter them however you like. You could run a physics simulation and then freeze everything. There's like so many ways that you could go about doing this. You can add snow puppets. Yes, snow, please. All right, so let me click on my snow particle. I'm probably going to do it the manual way. So I'll probably do something like this, Shift D, just to duplicate this quite a few times. Something like that, right? I'll just take this. I will duplicate that, right? Something like this. And I'll just keep duplicating repeatedly. And then I'll take the whole bunch, duplicate that, and we have a bunch of snow particles. And then we would have to scatter them throughout. Now, to be honest, guys, I could run a physics simulation. Let's just do it real quick so I can teach you guys something. I'm going to click on one of these. I'm going to add in a... Oh, we should probably also highlight all these and object apply scale. Click on one of these and just click on our physics settings. Let me also turn this freaking song off because this song is driving me crazy right now. All right, cool. All right, so click on one of these, add a rigid body physics active convex hull. That's fine. And then I'm going to add in a, where is it? Force field turbulence. Where's turbulence? Am I tripping, guys? There it is. All right, turbulence, bring that up. And then for the turbulence strength, let's just try like -100 and see what happens. Now, before we actually can see what happens with the turbulence, we have to apply our rigid body to everything else. So with this selected, highlight everything else, object, rigid body, copy from active. And now they all should have the same thing. Let's go ahead and play this and see what happens. So you see how they all fall down? That is because our turbulence is clearly not affecting them. Oh, we have to turn gravity off, I think. Yeah, turn gravity off. Now let's see what happens. All right, see how they start to disperse like that? This is exactly what I want. Now, what's great about this is we can go to any point in the animation and be like, okay, that's it right there. Boom, snap to camera, and just like that, we have all our snow particles. But our snow particles are a little big as I'm looking at right now, so I'm actually going to go back to my solid view, back to frame 1, and I'm going to take all of these. Turbulence, I'm going to go ahead and lock into place so that we can't move it anymore. I gotta also find out where that is. There it is. I'm gonna lock turbulence into place so that we can't move it. And I'm gonna take all of my particles, I'm gonna scale them down, and I'm gonna duplicate them a bunch more. Just like that. And then let's go ahead and play it back now. Cool. I don't know why some of them aren't moving, but that's fine. And then I actually am gonna rotate them. So let's take... All right, this is going to be funny. So let's take all these and rotate them towards the camera on the z-axis, RZ. And the reason we're doing this is because we want them to disperse evenly amongst the scene. Let's go ahead and play this back. That looks good. And let's go ahead and look at what we have now. Cool. All right, so far so good. I'm going to go ahead and select some of the particles and maybe mess with the materials as well. I actually think they need to be just a little bit smaller, guys. I'm sorry. Again, this is kind of like a fine-tuning process here. And I'm going to bring them closer to the camera as well. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Alright, I like this a lot better. Now, another thing we can do is we can add in, you guessed it, motion blur. Now, when we add in motion blur, we should have this nice little effect where if we just render one frame, everything's going to be blurred out as it moves with that turbulence force field. Let's go ahead and try to render one image and just see what this looks like so far. So I'm super curious. All right, let's render this. It looks like it's going to take about less than 30 seconds, and it actually looks pretty good for the most part. I'm not seeing that motion blur. Maybe because these pieces aren't moving very fast. So far, though, this is looking really, really good. All right, and it's done. 14 seconds. All right, cool. So overall, guys, I think it looks pretty solid. And this is where you guys can customize everything as you like. I might go back one more time, adjust those particles of snow, and make them even smaller and duplicate them one more time. This is me probably being a little bit too realistic about it. Like, to be honest, I probably shouldn't do this because I'm supposed to be doing this as a low poly since we couldn't access our other assets. Looks pretty good. I don't know why some of the particles aren't moving, so I apologize about that. That's perfect. That was what I was going for. We have the low poly trees, relatively low poly sled. We have our fire. We have our snow globe, the snow. Guys, this is looking solid. I'm really happy with this. We have our real HDRI that we're using, depth of field. This all kind of just came together, and I think it looks really, really good, and I'm very, very happy with it. Now, this was originally supposed to be for an animation, more or less, but I actually think it looks really good as just a still image. So I think that's how I'm going to advertise it when I go ahead and like post a reel or YouTube short. Yeah, I think this came out awesome, guys. This is perfect. Let me just go ahead and render the image one more time. Honestly, the snow particle simulation could be a tutorial within itself. So I might write that down so I don't forget that. Snow particle. Cool. All right, this is almost done. It's looking really, really solid, guys. That's perfect. What do you guys think? Cool for like a nice little fun Blender scene? I think it's pretty much good. I'm probably going to wrap this actual recording up for the YouTube tutorial. I do hope you guys enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun making this. Again, we went into it with kind of zero plan, but like I feel like we ended up with a really, really cool result. So I'm super, super excited. Yeah, you guys can see this. I'm so sorry. Let me show my Instagram streamers here. This is what we just created on our live stream for YouTube. Very, very simple little thing that we made in Blender, but super, super effective. And again, this was all with like very, very low poly stuff. So I was super happy to make this for you guys, or like with you guys. Sorry, this is what we just made, guys. Apologies for those of you on Instagram who didn't really see it. I was trying to just kind of get everybody over on YouTube. But guys, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you learned something. Again, I'm going to probably put out a little like physics simulation next for how to like create snow particles, because that was actually like super simple to do. So I could show you guys probably in less than 5 minutes. All right, guys, take it easy and make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel for future videos. Cool. All right, well, we're done with that recording, so that's at least good. Guys, what did you think? Real quick, let's go ahead and just talk for a second about what we just went over. What do you guys think? Did you guys learn something? Was this useful? Very cool, good, yes. Sounds like you guys are happy with the kind of content we're covering. That was just a whole freaking tutorial right there. What was that like? That was a decent chunk of time we just took up there. Where does it say how long I've been streaming? I don't think it even says. I wish it would tell me how long I've been online, but it's not telling me. So, all right. Anyway, that's what we just made. Now I'm thinking let's just drop a quick tutorial on particles in general, like, because I know you guys said physics simulations, physics simulations, physics simulations. So I'm listening. I'm hearing you guys out. Let me think about how I would construct this anyway. This is just like an easy way to use like a turbulence force field and a bunch of rigid bodies. Like, it's actually super simple. So Tech Model says, oh my god. Oh my god, what? My shirt? Alright, guys. Let's create another quick tutorial. So I'm gonna kind of like follow up with this tutorial real quick. I'm gonna record my screen, say like, here I am on YouTube, blah blah blah, the whole intro, and then we'll just hop into another like quick thing that you can do in the physics world, because it's honestly just so simple. So guys, everybody on Instagram, do you want me to point you towards the screen this time? I apologize. I'm trying to get everybody over to YouTube and get used to me streaming on YouTube, because it's easier to share my screen that way through OBS. Do you guys want me to point you towards the screen? because I will. I just need to find something to put this on. Here. Let me grab this tripod, guys. Okay. All right. Let me set you up. The tutorial. Oh, yeah. Yeah, again, guys, this is like a really, really simple one, but I know you guys really appreciate these, so I'm trying to be better about putting more content out. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and do another tutorial. This one's going to be very, very similar to like something I touched on in the last one. Guys, is this okay for you? Everybody on Instagram? Want to make sure you guys are chilling. All right, so here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to another quick tutorial. I want to cover a subsection of the previous tutorial where we created this awesome snow scene. So let me just play something for you real quick. Let me go to my solid view. So right here, you guys see all these particles that we have being scattered. I just want to show you guys how I did that. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, will ask me, how do you create something like this? It's actually really, really simple. So let me go ahead and open up a new document. New general. I'm going to save the current or the previous one. I'm going to delete everything, literally everything in the scene. I'm going to add in an icosphere, and then I'm going to pop this little drop down here, and I'm going to reduce the subdivisions. As you can see, we have this really simple shape. I'm going to go to my side view. I'm going to scale this down a bunch, move it up on the z-axis, and I'm going to begin to duplicate it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and duplicate it a bunch of times, and then once we have a nice little chunk here, we're going to duplicate that, and you guessed it, keep repeating the process over and over again. There's really no method to this. I'm just making as many pieces as I can as quickly as possible. You could use an array modifier, but this is fine too. All right, so we have all of our pieces right here. Just go ahead and add in a force field, add in a turbulence force field, move it up to like just the middle area right here, and then go ahead and add in a strength of 100. Now we want to apply the physics to these. So click on one of the icospheres, add a rigid body, active, convex hull, everything's fine, default. And then you want to hold shift, and click and drag everything else. Go to object, rigid body, copy from active. All right, so now let's go ahead and just play this and see what it looks like. So as you can see, everything's going to fall down. That is because we have to turn gravity off. Go into your scene settings here, turn off gravity. Now play your simulation back. And as you can see, we have this awesome dispersion of particles. Now what's really cool about this is not only was this super simple to create in less than like 2 or 3 minutes, I could probably do it in seconds if I wanted to. You can now go ahead and drop down your hierarchy on the right here. Just move all the way to the bottom so you can find your turbulence force field. Click this little drop down, click on this little arrow, and then click the arrow on turbulence so that you can't select the turbulence force field anymore. And basically what you're doing when you select that, you're just saying, hey, I cannot select this anymore. Click on all these, scale them down, go to your side view. You guessed it, duplicate again. And then you can duplicate as many times as you want. Let me just save this real quick because I have a weird feeling it might crash. I'm going to call this might crash. Save that to the desktop, and let's go ahead and play this back and see what it looks like. Oh boy. Okay, it is actually playing. It's just taking a quick second. All right, it's playing very, very, very slowly because I'm recording, streaming. I have like 10 different programs open right now. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to our rigid body world. We're going to go to cache, and we're going to bake this to frame 50. I'm going to click bake. Give this a second. As you can see at the bottom, it's saying 24%. It's going to run through every frame. It's going to bake. And as soon as it's done, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Is everybody on Instagram happy so far? Thanks a ton. No problem. Not an issue. It's been like 55 minutes. It actually wasn't bad. For an hour, like the amount we accomplished and covered in an hour was actually a lot. Because we covered modeling, lighting, just setting up a scene, like setting up render settings. I mean, we covered a decent bit. So there was a lot to take from that last tutorial. All right, the bake is almost done. We just need to give this a few more seconds here. Let me rehydrate while that bakes there, guys. I'm super excited to play this back. It's done. Let's go ahead and play it back and see what it looks like. That looks awesome. So guys, I just want to show you, I think it's really cool, especially when you look from like the side view and you play it back, like the way that it disperses is just super interesting. Now, what's really cool is you can go back to your turbulence force field and you can adjust it however you like. Baking simulations is not my favorite thing to do. My computer usually can handle this right off the bat, but since I'm streaming, recording, it's having trouble doing everything all at once. I only bake to frame 50, but I just wanted to show you guys a quick way to like disperse particles without having to, I hate using particle emitter. I just don't like it. You can call me out if you want. I actually like using real physics simulations because it's just so much more satisfying. And you know you're getting something like real. Like particle emitters are great. They have their place. I like doing stuff like this better. How cool does that look? You're not going to be able to achieve that with particle emitter, I don't think, unless you apply physics to it. And I just feel like this is so much simpler. You know exactly what's going on here. You know that each one of these has the exact same physics settings. You know you can control your turbulence. And if you really wanted to, you could animate your turbulence force field, move it up and down. You can animate it from 0 to 100. Here, let's do that. Let's go ahead and make sure we can click on it again. Let me go all the way down to our bottom here. Let me go to our turbulence so that we can select that again. I'm going to go to frame 1, and I am going to go over to my turbulence force field settings. And strength is 100 right now. I'm going to start it at 0. All right, I'm going to insert a keyframe. I'm going to hover over this and click I. And then I'm going to go to frame 20, or sorry, how about frame 5? And I'm going to make it 100. Now, let's do 10. Let's do frame 10. All right, now I'm going to make it 100. So it's going to go from 0 to 100 within 10 frames. And then let's go back to our physics world, and let's bake it out to, or let's delete the bake and bake it to frame, I don't know, 30. Keep it simple. Click bake. And let's see what happens. It's going to start fast, and then it's going to slow down. Just give it a second. So it's going to bake out the frame 30. So what I have a feeling is going to happen is we're going to start out with just this nice little grid, and then all of a sudden it's going to disperse very, very quickly. And I'm super excited to see how that looks because I just want to show you guys what's possible with physics simulations. A lot of it is experimenting, to be honest, and figuring out what looks best for your situation, your project. But I love physics simulations, and I know you guys do too. And to be honest, they take the longest to do because there's so much trial and error to get things correct. So when you guys see me putting out a physics simulation tutorial or a reel, there's hours of work that go into me trying to perfect that. So there's a lot of trial and error. All right, let's see what this looks like. So we're going to play it back, and around frame 10, it should disperse, I think. Yep. There you go. So as you guys could see, it starts out not doing much, and then boom, it just starts to disperse out of nowhere. Now, I only baked to frame 30, so I apologize, but I do still think that just looks like awesome. And what's really cool is you can go to any single frame you like. Let's say you really like frame 20. You could snap to your camera, and you could render that frame. And again, this works with any physics objects. These don't have to be icospheres. I just chose these because they're super, super simple to set up. To be honest, a cube is even simpler. You could probably even do it with a plane. I don't know. Let's try it. And then we're going to wrap up this tutorial because I've spent way too much time on this tutorial already. I pretty much went over the basics, but let me go ahead and delete all these things. And then let's go ahead and add in a... Oops, I missed some. Let's add in a plane. Let's just scale it down a bunch. And I think I should be able to apply a rigid body to that. Yep, active. All right, let's just see what happens with our plane. Looks like it is affected by our force field here. And I actually want to delete the bake, of course. All right, so it is affected by our force field. I'm not sure why, but it's almost drawn to the force field. Let me duplicate this a few times because I want to see like what's happening here. All right, let's go ahead and watch what happens now. Whoa. I don't know, why is it only going to frame 30? Oh, oops. Let me try that. Hold on. I don't know why I was doing that, guys. I'm sorry. There we go. So, you know what's really interesting about this? They almost look like little pieces of paper floating around. Let's go ahead and end that at frame 200. There we go. It's super interesting to watch this happen because you really don't know what's going to happen. It almost looks like confetti. I'm just trying to show you guys different ways you can experiment with the physics properties of Blender because it's honestly really fun to just mess around with. And we can learn in the process. Like, you know that a turbulence force field, if it's positive, it just throws things all over the place. But what if it was negative? Let's just see what it looks like. I don't think it's going to be too much different, but let's check it out. So it is keyframed right now. I'm going to delete the keyframes. Whoops. Let me highlight these. X, delete keyframes. And let's go back to frame 0. And let's do strength -100. And let's see what that looks like. Honestly, doesn't look too different. They're just going like the other way. But how cool is that you can just spread out all these particles? I just think that's incredible. Now let's go back to our side view. Let's make sure we can't select our turbulence, highlight everything else. And let's go ahead and really make some small particles here. I can't even barely see what I'm doing because these are so thin. All right, now let's play it back and see if Blender can handle that. Whoa. How cool is that? So guys, that's just like pretty much a quick way to handle like some turbulence force fields. Again, I'm just trying to put out some quick tutorials for you guys to learn. There's just so much to learn. It's just so much fun. Like we could create a whole confetti simulation in like a minute just based on this. And again, you can change your force field to whatever you want. That was turbulence. Let's go ahead and try something else. Let me go all the way down to the bottom here. Instead of turbulence, you could do force, and you could do point, and what is it, -100? So let's just go ahead and see. I think a negative force field should attract everything inwards. Let's go ahead and check this out. Yep. And as you can see, everything is attracted inwards towards the center mass of the force field. Pretty cool. It's an easy way to create a magnetic simulation. Now if we do the reverse, outwards force of 100, let's go ahead and watch what happens now. Everything just goes zoop. It said bye-bye. Now it's really cool. And what's really awesome is we can do the same thing we did last time, which is we can have it go all the way out and then right back in. So if we wanted to do that, we would start it at 100, keyframe that. Why is this not working? Oh, there we go. All right, so keyframe that at 1, go out to frame 30. Now at frame 30, you decide you want to keyframe it one more time, and then at frame 40, you want it to do -100. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So it should spread out and then come right back in. Oh. Boom. Whoa. I mean, what the heck just happened? That was cool. So again, guys, just trying to show you like a quick way to do this. Let me go out to frame 250. I just want to play that back one more time, show you guys what was happening there. So it goes out, and then it says, wait. Now we have a negative force field. Let's go back in. Then they all collide, kind of go back out, and then they kind of go to center mass here again. And you can just create these really, really cool physics simulations. Super easy and super, super fun and effective. So I just wanted to show you guys like how to do things like this. You could create sparks coming off of a fire. I mean, the possibilities are like actually endless, especially when you start bringing in like collision objects and things like that. So I mean, I have like a million ideas just for more tutorials just looking at this right now. You could, and it's more or less pretty realistic. I don't know what kind of forces there would be in real life that are like this, but you decide what you want to do with this knowledge. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I just wanted to go over some force field stuff today. So I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Cool. All right, guys. So we got that tutorial done. So we got snow globe, some particle physics stuff. Trying to think of what else we can cover today. What time is it? 11:32. We're doing good on time. Cool. What do you guys think of that, though? Pretty nifty stuff, right? I mean, look at these particles. Like, it's just so cool. I think personally. I love this part where they collide and they just go. Pshh. Like you could literally create like a bullet ricocheting off a wall and have all the particles like come off the wall. It's been like 55 minutes. Hello, thank you. I appreciate that you help us a lot. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no problem. We got a good amount of people on YouTube right now, which is awesome. Are you guys on the Discord, by the way? I just want to make sure you guys are aware of the Discord. Is everybody aware of the Discord? Just want to make sure. Cool? Yes? No? What you making, bro? Check it. Show you. Little particle simulation. This is just, it's like too much fun, honestly. Like, you name it, we could probably make it in Blender. to be honest. Sometimes I do stuff like this, and I'm like, literally anything is possible. Like, I hate when people tell me it's not the industry standard because I just created that in like less than 2 minutes. Like, realistically. And I went over it for like 10 minutes, but guys, anything's possible. Like, do I have to be here to motivate you about that like exact phrase? Because I want you to know that you can do anything. Anything you can put your mind to. So if you guys need a person to tell you or give you permission to be creative, I'm giving you permission right now. Go be creative. You literally have the tools for free. You have the knowledge for free. Besides, I guess you have your time. But you can do anything. You guys can do anything you put your mind to. And this program really, really lets you just unleash that creativity. Like, oh my God, it's so much fun. So, what are you creating? I am creating a physics simulation. Do you want to see? Do you want to see the physics simulation? Hold on. Or actually, I'll just point you towards the screen real quick. I'll show you guys, and then we'll come back to chatting for a bit. Chat about the next thing we're going to cover here. So here is the physics simulation right here. Hold on a second. Let me play this. Okay, here we go. So we have particles going out, right? And then they come back in towards our force field, and they just collide around. It's a lot of fun. This is something that was super simple to create, and I will be posting the tutorial very, very shortly on how we actually did this. Super, super simple. So, yeah, guys, we're covering a lot today. I'm trying to put out as much content as I possibly can before I start my next part-time job, because that is coming up probably this week or next week. What's the Discord? Yes, guys, let me get you the Discord link. I apologize for the inconvenience there. And I got to fix Quixel Bridge, guys. Remind me to fix that, because I don't know what the deal is with that. What the hell's going on here? Can you fit this community? Invite people. Copy link. Cool. All right, let me go ahead and paste that link in the chat. Guys, go join the Discord. We got a lot. We got like 120 people in there right now. So we got a fair amount of people in there. People are sharing what they're creating. They're asking for help. I'm posting tutorials in there, stuff like that. I'm helping you guys out. Hop in there. It's your direct line to me. So if you guys need help with something, you can talk to me. Could you make something with this physics simulation as a Christmas satisfying video? I mean, yeah. But let me look at the tutorial list that you guys have submitted so I can make sure I am honoring that. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. All right. Another thing I was going to do, guys, this was just something I wanted to go over as a fun like tutorial process video, is just go ahead and model something. And the specific thing that I was thinking we could model together is a razor, like a a razor that you would shave your face with, like a Bic razor. Here, I'll show you real quick. The reason I wanted to do this is because I feel like it would just make for a really nice video. Hold on, let me just find the razor. I think it was this one, yeah, because this one's like super simple, and I imagine how simple it would be to model it. Even like this, it's like the same model of razor, but it's just so simple, and I'm like, we could totally model this very, very easily. Yeah, so something I was thinking about. Bro, how you learn Blender? Blender, I literally looked up YouTube videos. That's how I learned. So, yeah, simple. All right, let's see. Yeah, like we would ideally I would go get one or get something similar, take a couple pictures of it from both angles so we can actually go and model it. But I just think it would be so simple to model. It literally is the most like simple thing. We could literally use primitives for this. And there's a lot you would learn along the way. So, or we could all come up with an object together that we want to learn how to model and just kind of go through the process. And there would probably be some troubleshooting because I'm really not an expert at modeling, but it could just be something fun to do. So, wow, guys, you have put out some crazy suggestions for these tutorials. Like really. Transform constraints. I actually don't really know constraints. I've never really used them. Actually, I've used okay, that's not true. I've used a constraint for what was it? It was an empty, like, or it was a parenting constraint. So it was like, hey, this object is parented to this object, but in 10 frames, I don't want it to be parented anymore. So you can do things like that. Let's see, making a fluid simulation run faster. Grid floor shader, I thought I went over that. 2 ways to make an object hover. I'm not going to do that yet. Green screen. I don't even know what I meant by when I put that. Shadow catcher. That's a good one. Shadow catcher is actually pretty easy to do. All right, let's just do shadow catcher real quick. I can do that in like 5 minutes. We'll go over that, and then let me look at your guys' other suggestions. Tutorial on rigging constraint. Yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to like teach myself. Again, guys, I don't know everything about Blender. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. So let's go ahead and do that. Where the hell did everything just go? Sorry, guys. My computer sometimes, like when I shake the window, it just goes all over the place. All right, let's go ahead and pop open a new general thing real quick. Yeah, we can say that. All right. So, guys, let me go ahead and go into tutorial mode here, and then we will cover the shadow catcher thing. Do you advise putting pictures on the front of the work and trying to simulate them because it is somewhat difficult? Put a picture on the front of the work. Can you explain a little bit more what you mean by that? Excuse me. I want to make sure I'm completely understanding what you're saying right now. Putting a picture on the front of the work. Do you mean a watermark? I'm not sure what you mean, but it's okay. All right. So let's cover a shadow catcher. Let me set up OBS so that it is good. Good. All right. I think this should not take long at all. Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to cover how to do a shadow catcher in Blender. So basically what a shadow catcher is exactly what it sounds like. It takes the shadow, catches it so that you can isolate it within your transparent PNG render. So we're going to be using cycles for this, and I'm just going to show you how simple it is to create a shadow catcher. So let's go ahead and go into our camera. We'll snap to our camera with numpad 0. Let's go ahead and go over to cycles, GPU, rendered view. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we have a transparent background. Before we do anything, I'm going to save this as shadow catcher tutorial. Cool. That way we have everything saved. Under here, guys, there's going to be something called film. You want to go ahead and pop that open and click on transparent. And as you can see, the whole scene changes. You have this nice grid. That means you are going to be rendering a transparent PNG. Now, of course, you still want to make sure in your output properties you have PNG selected. Now, go ahead and add in a mesh plane, scale that up a bunch, move it down below our cube, and then you can see the shadow right there. Now, you want to go into your object properties, go into shading, and then under shading, we should have our shadow catcher. Where the hell is it? No, sorry guys. Where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry. Visibility. Apologies for that. Shadow catcher. Now, as soon as you click on that, you're going to see everything else go transparent. So now all this plane is designed to do is catch the shadow from objects. And that's pretty much it. So now if I want to go render this, I'm just going to go ahead and make my samples 40 or something low. Render image. As you can see, we're rendering our image. It is now done. And we have our shadow right here. So if you went to go export this, you would now have your cube and your shadow. It's literally that simple. Sorry, I forgot exactly where the little toggle switch was for it. But guys, that's literally it. You now have your transparent image with your cube and the shadow. You can also do, like, you can add more objects to it. This is great for VFX because you can go ahead and overlay all these frames on top of more video and you still have the shadow. So guys, that's literally it. That's how you make a shadow catcher in Blender. Yes, you can duplicate this. Let's say you wanted to have 2 shadow catchers. I'm going to duplicate this plane. I'm going to rotate it. And as you can see, now both of these things are catching the shadows. You can scale them down. And you see how when I move this around, it's catching all of the shadows here. Scale, scale, scale. I just wanted to show you guys that you can create multiple shadow catchers. Now, again, it's going to be a little bit hard to find them because they are only catching the shadows, so you can't really see them in rendered view. But if you just click around, you'll be able to find them, or you locate them in your hierarchy on the top right. Guys, that's it for this tutorial. That is how you make a shadow catcher in Blender. And I will see you in the next tutorial. Cool. All right, shadow catchers covered. See how easy that was, guys? All right, let me go to, where is it? I gotta write down the stuff I covered today so that I know what to. Where's perfect? All right, let me just write down because I'm gonna upload all this stuff today. Shadow catcher. What else did we go over, guys? Snow globe. We did the snow globe, and then we did particle physics. Cool. All right, so those are the 3 things we covered today. I'll also make the thumbnails. Now, guys, let me ask you a question for those of you who are watching. Do you guys enjoy the thumbnail creation process? Be totally honest with me, because I think I did it before, and a lot of you did enjoy it, but I think some of you are more interested in the Blender stuff. I'm trying to show you guys that I have a wide range of things I can teach, but I want to know where you guys want me to focus on, because you can more or less consider me that, like, I work for you as like your personal teacher. I'm here to put out content that you guys want to learn and you need to learn for your own projects. You know, I obviously don't work for you guys, but I want to make sure that you guys are getting content that's valuable, because I literally have a million things up here in my brain that I could be teaching you. But the question is, what is the most valuable to you, and how can I make my time the most useful for you guys? Where is your Discord? My Discord, message me. I'll message you the link. I can't post it right now because it'll stop the live stream, but I do have Discord. It's growing pretty fast, which is awesome. I'm really glad that everyone is in there. And I'm going to try to hook it up so that YouTube pushes out notifications when I have a new video. I don't know how to do that yet, but I am going to learn how to do that. In fact, let me write it down so I don't forget. Push YouTube to Discord. There's got to be a way, right, guys? Got to be a way. Also, I am looking for a Discord mod if anyone's interested. But you got to know what the hell you're doing, because I'm not about to hire someone or have someone help that does not know what they're doing. So if you guys really know what you're doing, that's amazing. Excuse me. How do you do a grass simulation? I don't know. I mean, you would probably want to do a particle emitter and then go from there. So, guys, let me think. Where is our Trello? Let's pull up Trello again. All right, so we just did Shadow Catcher. Premiere Pro, that is beast. I'm not going to go over that today. Photoshop, we can go over, well, actually, we can't go over Photoshop. I'll explain why later. Product renders, we can do product renders. How to put clothes that react to physics. Let me just look. More free resources. Yeah, that'll be a future tutorial. Fire coming out of car. Someone keeps repeatedly messaging me that they want me to do a car exploding or something. So I don't know what you guys have against cars. Just kidding. It's just funny because it's like I'll see like car on fire, car exploding, car turning into fire, and I'm like, what is it with the cars? It's just funny. All right, let's go ahead and see what else we have. How to make thunder. That's a little vague, but I can look into that. Eevee style animation. SVG logo to 3D logo concept. Fog, ringing. Someone said ringing. So I put up the polls on my Instagram, and you guys comment like the silliest stuff sometimes. I saw one that said ringing. I think you meant rigging. Make sure you guys are spelling stuff correctly, because I really don't know what you're talking about sometimes. Breaking things realistically, fire simulation, rig a static character from Mixamo. No, yeah, no. But I could show you guys how to import into Mixamo and rig from there, because Mixamo has built-in rigging like algorithm, which is super awesome. Yeah, let's do that. Here, hold on a second. That'll be an easy one to cover real quick, because I do feel like a lot of people want to know how to do that. Let's go to CG Trader real quick. Let's type in human, and let's go to full screen this. Free. All right, here's our free humans. Let me just find something that is appropriate to use. All right, this is perfect. Not this one. This one. Why doesn't it let me click? Am I even logged in? Sorry, guys. Let me log in real quick. Google. Come on, Google. I'm trying to do a tutorial here. Unbelievable. Can't even log into my my account. Really? Sorry guys about the inconvenience here. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, we're logged in. Okay, cool. All right. I am going to record a tutorial on how to do this in Mixamo. Let me just select this guy right here. Actually, this guy's perfect. Let's do this dude. Perfect. All right, we're going to use this guy. Oh, you guys can't see on Instagram. I'm so sorry. Head over to YouTube. Sorry. Actually, why don't I just stop the stream on Instagram, head over to YouTube. That is where you guys want to watch right now. Bye-bye. Cool. All right, guys, sorry. I just realized it probably doesn't make sense to stream on both because one is more for like chatting, one is more for like this type of stuff. All right, let's go ahead. Everything is set up. Please tell me my audio has been recording. Yes, it has. Okay, we're good. Guys, can you imagine if the audio wasn't recording? I would lose my shit right now. All right, so let's open up Mixamo. Cool. Let's log into Mixamo, continue with Google, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. So, characters, let's do this guy. All right, cool. Looks like Mark Zuckerberg. All right, just see something real quick. Downloads, okay. All right, we're good to go. So let's start recording. Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be showing you how to use your own character, upload it to Mixamo, rig it within Mixamo, and then download pretty much any animation with that rigged character. It's actually super simple, so let's go ahead and hop into it. The first thing we're going to need is our own character. I found this guy on CG Trader, so I am going to download him. Now while we wait for that, I'm going to show you guys the interface of Mixamo real quick. So Mixamo, you can scroll through different characters, you can look at different animations. It's really, really simple. Once you have your character rigged up, you can pretty much select any animation you want. So let's go ahead and check on our download. It looks like there's 3 seconds left. As soon as we download that, we are going to, all right, so we're going to download an FBX. I just want to make sure real quick this is not currently rigged. So let me go over to Blender. Let's go ahead and open up a new file. And let's go ahead to File, Import FBX. Go to our downloads, and let's import our guy. He is actually already rigged. All right, we're going to have to find another rigged character. And I'm going to have to start my recording over. God damn it. Did it not? It didn't even say rigged. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just undo that. Because I need to find something that is not rigged. Here, I'm going to just download it before the tutorial so it makes it a little easier. I bet you he's not rigged. Does it say rigged? Alright, we're going to download this one, and then we're going to restart the tutorial. Sorry. Grass simulation. Yeah, you're probably thinking, are you thinking like grass like flowing with the wind? Because I can try that. As soon as this is done. Maybe not today. I'd have to do like a little bit more research, but definitely something that is possible. All right, let's download this. Cool. All right, there's our object file. All right. Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be going over how to upload your own character to Mixamo to rig them so that you can download preset animations. It's super simple. The first thing we're going to need is our own 3D model to upload, which I have already downloaded from CG Trader. It's just this free male figure. So we're going to go ahead and upload that into Mixamo. So I'm over in Mixamo here. You just want to click on Upload Character. You want to locate your file, which is in my downloads. Here's the file right here. We're going to upload the file, give Mixamo a second to process everything. Everything looks good. Now we're going to click on Next. And now this is where you need to align all your dots. So you literally just want to click and drag and align these to the specified areas. We want to outline our chin, our wrists, our elbows, knees, and then our groin. Perfect. So now once you have everything aligned, you want to click on Next. And now what Mixamo is going to do is it's going to automatically rig your character based on its algorithm. So I guess they've developed an algorithm that somehow will rig it based on those specific points. Now this is a very low poly model, but as soon as it's done, I'm going to show you guys just how powerful this tool is. All right, it looks like it is done, and this is kind of your default preview, and it's looking really, really good. So let's click on next. And now we have our character in here, right? Again, this is low poly with no materials. And if we click over to our animation section on the top left here, we can scroll through, I think, hundreds, if not thousands, of different preset animations. And all you would do is you would click on one of these, and it will apply it to your character. And then if you find something you like, you can download it. This one is called Joyful Jump. Let's just say we really, really like this one. This guy's really, really happy, and he is ready to download. We will click on Download. FBX with skin is fine. Everything here is fine. Click on Download. And then you guys can adjust all these settings as well, and you can play around with those. Let's open up Blender. Let's delete the default cube. Let's go to File, Import, FBX, go to our downloads, locate our Joyful Jump, import the FBX, and as you can see, we have a fully rigged character with our default animation that we just downloaded. And just like that, guys, you can easily add animations to any character as long as they're rigged properly within Mixamo. And what's great is now that you have this downloaded, you can actually go into your armature, go into pose mode, and you can actually view all of these bones right here in action, and you can study these to learn more about rigging. How awesome is that? Super simple. Just wanted to go over that quick tutorial for you guys so that you know how to add custom animations to your characters with pretty much minimal effort. All right, guys, I will see you in the next tutorial. Perfect. Guys, what do you think? Simple little tutorial there. So I'm also recording this while I'm live streaming. That way you guys can watch back on the live stream if you want, or you can wait for the tutorial to come out. I'm scheduling them now so that they kind of come out like maybe 1 or 2 every day. So yeah, thanks a lot for making tutorials. No problem. Do you do sculpting? Yeah, I do actually. I do sculpting. Not often, but I do. Yeah. Not of water. Damn it. All right, guys. Here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I might do one last quick little tutorial for you guys, and then I'm gonna hop offline, get some lunch, get myself together, and then I'll come back on in the afternoon here. So yeah, how does that sound to everybody? Sound good? All right, we'll do one last one. Let me X out of Blender here. I'm not saving this. X out of this, X out of that, and go here. All right, so we're back in our Trello to look at things. Rig a static character, good to go. Camera follow path, more free resources. Fire coming out of car. Let's see. Premiere Pro, making a fluid simulation, product renders, Photoshop. Cube containing a liquid. Oh, I haven't figured that out yet. Rigging. Yeah, rigging is something I have to brush up on before I put out a tutorial on that because it's been a minute. Fluid simulations continued. Yeah. Satisfying animations. Explaining shader nodes. Yeah, sculpting tutorial. Okay. Trying to think about which one of these makes the most sense to do. Because yeah, okay. I'm trying to think. Ember emitter. That was my idea, actually. I put that on there. That was my idea. How to put clothes that react to physics on characters. Cube containing liquid. Okay. I guess we could do sculpting. Like, we could. Sculpting is kind of like intense. I think what I might do is hop offline for now, make some of these thumbnails, upload some of this stuff, and we'll come back in a little bit because I think I need a quick break, guys. I've been staring at the screen for like a long time. So let me take a little break, a little breather, respond to some messages, make a few calls, stuff like that. It sounds like you guys are really enjoying the content though, so that makes me really, really happy. If you guys have any last minute comments, go ahead and drop them down real quick. I'll wait like a minute, and then we'll come back later, I promise. And for those of you who haven't joined the Discord, please join the Discord. I'd be more than happy to see you there. You guys can also ask more questions there. You can submit tutorial ideas. I have a whole channel for that. So, yeah, I'll wait like a hot second real quick, and then we'll hop offline and we'll come back. Yeah. Also, I'm probably going to be making a thumbnail for the actual stream as well. Thumbnail for the stream. From where I can learn models and stuff, or download models. Why do you save all the files on the desktop? There is a reason I do that. The reason I do that is because, one, I'm too lazy to locate the other folder, and two, I want to quickly save that so I can continue with the tutorial and not lose my flow. It's really all about not losing my flow, because I don't want to like forget what I was going to do next. I don't want to spend time locating a folder and saving it. And I probably will organize these later, and put them up on my Patreon as well. So, from where can I learn models and stuff? Oh, nodes. I'm sorry, I read your comment wrong. Where can I learn nodes and stuff? I mean, I can teach that when I come back. It depends what specifically you want to learn. There's like just learn nodes itself is like, I can't teach every single node. I can teach you like the basics of like how things are kind of constructed. Love your work, by the way. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. I definitely think there's a lot I can teach. It's just like how to dedicate my time is something I'm still working on, figuring out the best method to put out tutorials that don't take too long for me so I can continue to put out content. Like today we made 3 tutorials in the morning, which is pretty good. I want to learn how to cut those down to like 5 minutes, to be honest. How long have you been modeling? Not that long. Like, honestly, like less than half a year. I don't really do modeling. To be honest, most of like the work that I do is like downloading something and then messing with it. Just because if it's already modeled, why spend the time? It is good to learn modeling. Like that's why I think I want to do that Razer tutorial where we're gonna like design a Razer or maybe like design a speaker, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, it's super exciting. But for now, I think, guys, I'm going to end the stream, and then we'll come back and we can answer more questions later. Is there any way I can collaborate with you? I'm a 3D artist working professionally for the past 8 years. Oh, that's awesome. Why don't you reach out to me on Instagram? I'm not always open to collaborations, but like if it's something where like I can end up getting paid out of it, yes, that's definitely something I'd be interested in. Why don't we talk on Instagram and we can discuss some details? Yeah, I've tried to collaborate with other artists before. It's tough. It's tough sometimes, but yeah, I would definitely be open to that. I'm definitely curious to see what you have to say. So why don't you message me on Instagram and we can definitely chat there about it for sure. Yeah. Thanks. Yep, no problem. Make sure I'm not missing any comments here. Bro, how do you learn Blender? Yep, will do, sir. Amazing. Thank you, Shubham. All right. Cool. All right, guys, for now, I'm going to hop offline. We will come back in the afternoon. Hopefully, you guys will still be around to join the stream. And I'll see you guys then. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I'll talk to you guys soon.